So guys, I figured I would start a new YouTube channel instead of muddying up my old one with a mix of my music and my gaming stuff. Make more sense to have a new one. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about the new 69, nice by the way, 69.99 next gen games that are coming out. I just wanted to say why I don't hate the idea. I just wanted to talk a little bit more about it because, I'm 26 years old. I've been a gamer my whole life. But I wasn't, necessarily aware of, the video game economy until maybe the year 2004, 2003-ish, when I remember buying or asking for Sonic Heroes for my birthday, and it was a $39.99 game. But back then, all games were $49.99 if they were the big budget, high anticipated releases. The lower ones, like something like Sonic Heroes, were only $39.99 on release. And it was like that until 2005 when the Xbox 360 came out and Activision was charging $59.99 for their games. And I mean, when I think back about it, I'm still salty about that. I'm just greedy Activision, But I mean, that was 15 years ago. But and ever since then, right, every new game has been $59.99. And now, right, works, it's kind of hinted that we're going to be spending $69.99 for new ones. And so, I mean, I do know, although it was before me, I do know that back in the day, in the 90s, games weren't just a set price of $49.99. I remember when Turok came, I say remember, I came across this data, but Turok came out in 1997 and it was a brand new, it was a big budget game for its time. And it was, and so it commanded a big budget price. It was $79.99 on release. And then Virtua Racing, which was a game for the Sega Genesis, when it came out, was $99.99. It had it included an enhanced processor for the Genesis to be able to run the game as it was. That was another big budget game, and not just production, but in manufacturing. And so it was a $99 game back in 92, right? Which, adjusted for inflation, I couldn't give you the numbers, is more than $100, put simply. I know we're not going that far. I'm not saying games should cost that much money, but another small perspective is, games in Japan, they aren't also just beholden to this golden $59.99. I've bought a few Japanese games. You can see my collection over here. One of which was $80, which is equivalent of $80. That's just how much it costs. What do they wanted? It's what they charged. It's what I paid. Another one, a Vita game, was $60. Same thing. They don't have a set MSRP for things. And all I was saying is that I don't, once again, hate the idea. A really big budget game, I don't hate the idea that it commands a big budget price. But there's some caveats here, it's not so cut and dry, because in today's day and age, we have something called DLC, right? And DLC is not it has made the game so when a game comes out brand new, $60 is kind of the base price. And so $60 being a base price, then it's you can buy the digital, deluxe edition for $69.99, the deluxe edition for $89.99, whatever, the super deluxe edition. And then of course, you can go into the collector stuff that come with actual goodies if you're a super fan. But right, that's kind of what we've accepted as consumers. I know that, a lot of people will still be mad that game companies do that. But I mean, a general consumer, and if a game company comes out with a deluxe edition, right, the game company's not flamed into the ground, right? So we've kind of generally accepted that games don't only just cost $60 on release. If you're a fighting gamer, $60 is kind of like not at all what you've been spending. I'm a huge fan of Soul Calibur 6. When it came out, I spent $90 on the deluxe edition. It was because it came with a day one season pass, and I was a super fan. It's my favorite franchise. How was I not going to spend $90, right? How was I just not going to do that? It was a game, if I could buy one fighting game all year, it was going to be that. So, but I mean, it's not just that game. If you liked Mortal Kombat, it had a day one season pass. If you liked, what was it, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, that came out with this day one season pass, which I also bought. I actually bought the Hong Kong version, and I ended up spending more than $100, which was sad, and I regret because I couldn't wait for it to come out in the US, so I bought the Hong Kong version. Anyway, as I keep saying, I don't necessarily hate the idea. It's just that as I said, with some games having DLC when they come out, not every game is, trustworthy, or they get especially egregious with their DLC practices. Namely, 2K, right? Not only is the fact that it's a yearly game, like if you're a fan of the 2K series, you're essentially paying a $60 subscription every single year, right? If you've bought one for the PS3 or the PS4, I should say, just current generation, right? You've bought 2K 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, right? And now 2021. And you're just, like a game that's being released so often should not, first off, even cost $59.99 to begin with. Let alone, I mean, I even did a video about this. All of the microtransactions the game is filled with. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that they could get away with charging $59.99 per game per year, the game could easily be free to play and get a bunch of money just based off of its microtransactions. But, once again, why would they do that if they can get $60 out of their fan base every single year? And so for that game to command a $69.99 price point, I have issues. See, like, once again, as I said, I don't necessarily hate the idea of a $69.99 game. If a game like Red Dead Redemption 2 is like practically a game that can define a decade, right? It's definitely going to get a game that's going down in history, and in its huge production value. Like, it's clearly, I'm not saying that you have to like the game. I'm not here to give it awards or anything like that, but it's clearly like this game that set out to create this gigantic vision, and which it did, right? If, say, that game didn't come out until the PS5 and they were like, a next gen game commands a next gen price, $69.99. I wouldn't hate that. Of course, I'm not going to be like, oh boy, I got to spend $10 more than normal. But I mean, it's just like, Red Dead is a huge game. I could understand if that was to be $69.99, which, like I keep saying, brings me back to 2K. Why is that game $69.99? It literally makes me mad. That should not be the forerunner at making this game, making these next gen games cost so much money, right? If a new God of War game were to come out and it's even like bigger than the 2018 version, $69.99. Like, once again, I'm not gonna jump for joy at it. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, but I don't hate the idea. And I really do think not only should 2K games not be $69.99, they shouldn't even be $59.99 with how much microtransactions they have and the fact that they want you to buy a new game every year, right? Red Dead's not doing that. Cyberpunk 2077 is not doing that. Final Fantasy VII Remake's not doing that. But these 2K games are, and that's ridiculous. Yeah, that's my thoughts. I'm trying to think. Since I've made a new YouTube channel, I'm thinking, I did just buy this right here, this Dreamcast. Let's see, can I get my hand over there correctly? Whoop, right there. Yes, I just bought that Dreamcast. I could, if you care, start doing just 2020 looks into Dreamcast games. I bought the Sakura Taisen series right here. It's all in Japanese. I wouldn't really do reviews of that so much, but like Fantasy Stars right there, and Shenmue's right there. I could do reviews of those. I mean, I have the equipment to record stuff about it. I've wanted to do some video game reviews, but I don't know. We'll see. But thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to this channel since it's a new one. If you want more video game updates. And, or yell at me in the comments what I should have done differently or why I'm wrong. I'm willing to discuss. I'll see you later.